Okay, maybe it's working. Maybe not. Am I making noise? It looks like the little green line is moving. Let's see what we got here. The chat. Can I show that on screen? I can. Okay. Why is it so tiny? I don't know. All right, I guess that's over there. Overlay on. Oh, maybe that's better. God damn. What a pain in the ass. Now I have to see if there we go. All right, Adam Hall, hello. Steven, hello. So I haven't done a live chat in a while, and all my shit, like my laptop wasn't even in this room, and I had a hub, a docking station, and it's not here anymore. So I was replugging things in. Nothing was working the way I thought. So it took me a minute to get things the way I wanted. All right. Okay. Dustin Eckenrode, hello. Scott with 1T. Might have a new radio call sign after this weekend. We have some, I have to change a couple of screens here to open my notes. Is there a way to make this dark? Anybody know on Google Documents if we can go to a dark mode? So it's not so fucking bright on my face. Yeah, I can do it on my phone, but I don't know how to do it on my browser. Roof 360 is here. Mark Box, hello. Josh Hill, hello. Tom Hollyby, all my favorite peoples. So any of you tech weirdos out there, if you can tell me, Jay Gibson is in his house. If you can tell me how to make a in a browser, Chrome browser, how to make a Google Doc dark theme, that would be great. Willie Everett, that name seems familiar. So apparently we've met before. I apologize for anything that may have happened when that took place. Rapid response training, that fella's okay too. It's 2026. Dark mode should be default for everything. It should. I don't know how. Like my browser is dark, but I don't know how to make Google Documents dark. I don't even know where fucking settings are in Google Documents. Like docs.google.com. I don't know. I've never even thought about it before, but that's where my notes are. And then I got this blinding fucking light in my face. So 27 May live chat sponsored by Ammo Supply Warehouse. That's them over my shoulder right there. They sell all the bullets. You can use the coupon code TREMIS10, TREMIS10, to get 10% off of any order over $100. Jonathan Aldridge, Iron Forge Consulting, also has showed up. I wouldn't be shocked if more people show up this evening, maybe. Seems like one of those days where people might. Steven says it doesn't have a dark mode on PC. Well, that's fucking dumb. Well, I guess what I can do is open Google Docs on my phone and reference that. It's so big. All right. Well, I still have to go over to the white window. Copy links, because that's where I haven't copied at. Reed is drying out his gear at his house. I finally took my shit in from hanging out on the fence. So I clamped it up all on the fence to dry out, and it rained. So, of course, it got wet again. Scott Wexler, hello. Also pretty okay guy. So let's see what I have on my notes. I got a bunch of stuff. Some things I found on the interwebs that I'd like to mention, but we'll go over the normal stuff first. I got the sponsor out of the way. Hopefully some of you bought a Tremis signature rifle over the Memorial Day weekend. It was 20% off at Midwest Industries. If you did not, you can still use the coupon code Tremis and get 10% off, but I really feel bad if you didn't get in on it when it was 20% off for Memorial Day. First Wave Holsters was going to do a Memorial Day sale, but opted to wait until after Memorial Day. And something cool to show you, sitting right here over my right shoulder. Oh, that could be the case. Yes, sir. I don't think those got sent out yet. Well, mostly because we were off doing Wolverine Warfare. So let's see what we got going on. Wolverine Warfare is early. I read Javier's comment. Is over. That's it for the Wolverine Warfares. We won't be doing another one. So if you missed it, it's over. Scott, your name was mentioned during the class, and it was not followed by swearing. It was preceded by swearing. But yeah, Wolverine Warfare is done, kaput. We have made the sequel, and it was good, and now it has ended. Shinde, hello, sir. People sometimes seem to think that things will go on forever and ever, even when they're told it probably won't. So it is weird. I mentioned that it would be the last one. That could be the last one. And people are like, well, if there's another one, blank. And there isn't going to be another one. And after I mentioned that to someone, they were a little snippy with me that they couldn't clear their schedule for last year or this year, but I should keep making them until they can clear the schedule or something like that. But if you notice, there are a number of classes that you may have wanted to take, not just from me, but from other folks in the past, and they aren't anymore. So well, that's a new window that popped up in on Restream. Scott did not find out about it until a few weeks beforehand. Well, I remember the first Wolverine Warfare. I probably mentioned 7,000 times and put this one up 4 days after the last one ended. So there was time. If you weren't paying attention, though, I can't help that a whole lot. But my point, there is a bunch of things out there that people get to experience and then they don't any longer. And that's pretty normal. I saw Megadeth on the Euthanasia tour. That was the only tour where they played those sets of songs with those people. It was just something. I was my 21st birthday, so that would have been 1995. But point's still the same. I actually consider instructing kind of like touring. You put on the shows and you get the people that pay to come see the show. And then when the show is over, the show is over. Sometimes you'll get a different show. Garrett Matson, hello, sir. Long time no speak. Well, I mean, like in person and stuff. We might have had some exchanges across the interwebs. They must have been pleasant because I don't remember them not being. Of course, I'm terrible with memories anyway. Oh, there is a Burtner online. The Texas class is called Dynamic Gunfighter because somebody was worried that hood rat shit with hood rat friends might be difficult to get the county to pay for. So it is Dynamic Gunfighter. There are 2 of those this year. I have them on my list of notes. If you let me scroll back to them, I will get them for you. 0608 November in Paducah, and 0406 September in Pennsylvania. Marcus, hello, sir. If it's the Marcus that I think that it might be, but there's a bunch of other stuff out there, and I don't know what all that means. The Dynamic Gunfire, those are both 3-day classes. Scott, hood rat shit with hood rat friends is going to be a fun class. It is going to be for post June for at least the next 18 months will be the core class from Tremis Dynamics. Hood rats are bad, okay? Well, just saying. Depends who's defining them. Which actually goes into some of the things that we'll mention tonight about who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, because they might not be what you've been brought up to think. Let's see what else we got going on. We still have some Warrior Lodge Inner Circle slots open. I don't feel the need to push that, but it was in my notes from like a month ago, so I just thought I'd mention it. That is where you pay once and you train forever, just paying any consumable costs or range fees. And currently here in PA, we don't really have any range fees except for Force on Force, because that we got to rent the shoot house. Force on Force will also have a few dollars of consumables, unless you bring your own unit gun or UTM gun or sim gun. But Wolverine Warfare, for those of you that missed it, we had about half the class were veterans of the first Wolverine Warfare, and the other half were newbies. And everybody did awesome in the horrific conditions. It started off really nice. And then the first night, Friday night, started raining. And it stayed that way for the next 17 days. So according to the interwebs, Sonny, hello, sir. We got more than an inch of rain on Saturday. We had winds that knocked trees over while we were on the range. And there overnight, it was like 46 degrees. So we had cold, we had wet, we had wind. It was awesome. I tried to be as nice as I could to the fellas, but you know, sometimes they just have to suffer. And a good time was had. We got more covered than we did in the first Wolverine Warfare, mostly because this group of folks were a little faster moving, so they didn't spend so much time walking around the woods, and we got more blocks of instruction in. We had more things we could do. We had a whole list, and the deal was we were going to take things off the list and do them. And if the guys were super quick, we had more things, and if they were super slow, we knew which things we were going to pull off. But they all did great. We had 2 night shoots this time instead of 1. Wait, do we have 2 night shoots? Yes, I think, didn't we? Friday night we did not. Saturday night, no, I guess we didn't. Sunday, did we? We had a night shoot Saturday night. It was glorious. There's probably videos on the internet. It's great. They've been shared, edited. That was a little strange. The edited videos, I was a little confused why people would edit them. But hey, they did. The bad part is I was like a mile and a half away when the videos were being taken of that, doing other stuff. And I wasn't actually in any of the cool guy videos, really, that set the internet aflame. And so that's usually how it is. Things happen, the internet loses its shit, and I wasn't fucking there. But all right, Josh said we did do 2 night shoots. See how long I just all bled together, and I wasn't sure. Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. I was only at one of them. That's the ticket. All right, thanks for getting me squared away, guys. I was there Saturday night, and Sunday night I was at the other range. Okay, now we're talking. All right. What we got coming up? Dynamic pistol, 6-7 June. I believe might be 2 slots left for that. Then 13-14 June, we have dynamic carbine. I think there's 1 slot left for that. I only have a slot. It was sold out, but I got a guy that canceled, need to move his credit to something else. And then in a day 3 weekend, which is day 3 pistol on Saturday, day 3 carbine on Sunday, that is 2021 June. So the core classes will come through in June, and then we will not see them again for at least 18 months. It'll be no more 2026 of those classes, nor will there be any in 2027, because there's other stuff that needs squeezed into the schedule instead. But we will do a dynamic gunfighter, which will have a little bit of pistol and a fair amount of rifle in it. And then starting in the summer, in July, I am doing a collaborative class with Combat Art Training. And it is called Force on Force Weaponology, I believe. And that is in Brookville. And then I can't remember what the dates are, but I think that's July. And then also, I think the weekend after, Zach Bush will be here doing a active shooter class, 11-12 July, Definitive Training Solutions. And then after those are over, we do the Citizens Defense series of workshops, and we're doing those a bunch, a whole lot. Speaking also of July 4th, the day of July 4th, Independence Day, we are doing a Citizens Defense study group. Colt Manny, hello, sir. And it's going to be some patrolling, some live fire, and then what we refer to nowadays as campfires and cocktails. So bring a tent, bring a rifle, bring some hiking boots. All right. That's what I got looking on the schedule. You can look up the Citizens Defense and all the workshops we're doing. I don't remember what order they're coming in. I think the patrolling one's first, and I don't remember exactly the order after that. So I do have things to mention. I did get one question today, which was good because I didn't put this up until late. And I also got like the normal stuff we used to do. Adam Hall muster this year? No, sir. If I was going to do a muster in 2026, I would have started planning it around December. So if there's going to be a muster in 2027, it would be sometime in the fall. I would have to start planning for that. So it's a possibility. Aaron Little has kind of convinced me that maybe there should be a 4th one, although a trilogy of musters is a good storyline. Again, like some of those things that come and then they go away and they don't continue. The muster could be it as well. All right. And of course, you guys, if you guys have any questions, by all means, throw them up there. If we have any, what would we call them, extra viewers that popped in just because they saw the Tremis Dynamics tag and some of the internet videos, and they want to come unload their load on us, like don't feel that's the place right there in the little comment box. I guess for you guys it'd be right there, comment box. Hopefully I'll see it, and maybe I'll ignore it because he might be gay and retarded, but if not, maybe I'll say something. So let's see. I got a book of the week. I do not have an album of the week, but I guess you can call it like a playlist of the week, an artist of the week. Oh, AOTW, artist of the week instead of album of the week. Mostly because I don't even know if this dude has albums. I just stumbled across them, and I thought I'd share it because I was disappointed that nobody else shared it with me. Marcus says it's a good question. But nope, there's not. There's not one in 2026. And I also have a social media of the week. And this one's really good. Mark Box says, what did he miss? Just on any of the social medias that you like to use, Marks, do a search for Praelectus Training. That would be Jay Gibson, who's somewhere here in the comment section. And look at some of the clips that he posted and then read the comments. Hoo-wee. The internet is aflame with gayness. All right. So, book of the week. Now, I don't have a copy of the book of the week. I did just order one today because I saw it for the first time in paperback. And somewhere, I think in a tote in my basement, is piles of there were barrels, Mark, piles of papers, like I some newspaper clippings of things like when I was in the newspaper when I was a kid and stuff. Javier Shieldx holding up tip top. We're going to show it here in a minute. And in that, I have the original version of this book cut out of a newspaper. And that's where I read it. And that would have been mid-90s that I read it. And I believe you can probably find it on the internet as well. But I saw it in a paperback for, I don't know, like $15. So I decided I would order the paperback today and I would share it as my book of the week because I haven't read it since the mid-90s. So I got to get the link copied and I'll bring it up here and paste it. Paste. So the name of the book is Industrial Society and Its Future by Ted Kaczynski. That is our book of the week. It's actually not a bad book. I'm just saying. It's basically just his manifesto. But it's like 123 pages, it said. So I was like, there's no way I read all of that in the fucking newspaper in the 90s, which I don't know where that newspaper clipping is. But I thought it would be very interesting to reread. And I like having books on my shelf because when you read them in some sort of digital fashion, they tend to disappear. And I thought today, and nowadays, not like today specifically, but today, with the proliferation of mass surveillance centers, they're not really data centers. The only data they're collecting is surveillance data. So I don't know why they call it just the data center. It's a surveillance center. With the proliferation of those, that maybe there was some wisdom to be found from Uncle Ted. But that's my book of the week. So don't ask me like to tell you much about it. Remember when I said I read it in the 90s? A little fuzzy about what all was in there. And I probably didn't even understand it very, very well. Oh, Paducah Stan's getting one. Yeah, so is Mount Carmel, and it's interfering with the Wolverine Warfare AO. The Barbarian Dad. Hello, sir. If I know you, it's not by that handle, and I'm sorry I didn't say hello, Fred, or whatever. I just got a text message from Adam Hall that said his copy of that book got delivered 2 hours ago. Adam's the guy that usually buys the books that I tell people to get, and this time he beat me to the punch. So now this, you are poor. I don't even, who the fuck are you guys surveilling? Like I could, like one flock camera would cover your entire county. Anyhow, don't get me started on flock cameras. I have something to mention about those. Hello, sir. Mach 16 LT. Again, with the old YouTube handles, I might not remember. If we've met, hello, Bill. But if we haven't, hello, sir. So the artist of the week This is the one that if Colt's still in here, he's going to be upset because it's not very metal. But I can't help it. So I was listening. I was out in the shop last week and listening to. I think I was listening to XM at the time, and like his artist came on, and it was kind of like punky, but not full on like Homo, Green Day, a little rougher than Blink, not as coarse as like the Offspring. And I was like, who is this? And so it's some dude from like fucking Sweden, and I don't know what his name is, but he goes by Nomi, and like Nomy. So then I went over to Spotify and was like, let's listen to more, and not bad. It's got a I don't know, I call it feel good party music. But I was impressed that this guy's got like 10,000 fucking songs, and I never heard of him until like this year. So I was kind of taken aback that he had slipped through the cracks. And so that is the artist of the week that I feel like I just discovered something new, and apparently it's not that new. But there is the Spotify playlist for the Nomi fella. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Nomy. Could be Nami. See, Colt said pretty gay. I don't always like look for feel good party rock, but if I had a feel good party, that's the kind of thing I would put in it. Apparently, there are albums. I don't know. I haven't purchased any of his music, but I like it when I get like sideswiped by something that I didn't see coming. So I thought I'd go ahead and put that up there. Now, here is a good one. This is the one that I was looking forward to sharing with you. And I have shared a fair amount of Instagram stories from this bloke, who I don't know, nor do I know what he does outside of make cool Instagram posts. But it's been a social media strategy of mine recently that I have shared other people's posts in my story, ones that I liked that touched me in some way, like a Catholic priest may do, or a rabbi. The dude doesn't have a bunch of gay ass shooty videos, but there are guns in all of them. So just the way he presents that, I can appreciate it. And the Instagram handle is Selective Outcomes. There is the link for you all, and you should follow that dude and enjoy the posting, because it is entertaining to say the least. There's a bunch of hot dogs, and there's some ski masks, lots of rifles and plate carriers and such. So, and a very positive messaging. You can't forget that. Very positive messaging. So that covers my social media of the week, the artist of the week, and the book of the week. So I'm waiting for you guys to poke up some questions here. It just ain't happening. I'm getting very, very disappointed in the interwebs. Usually when I'm somehow tertiarily associated with the internet being set aflame, people flock to come over and bitch. And it's been very weak this time. It's a bad showing. Interweb people. But I'll give you the question that I got posted to me when I said I was doing a live chat, which hasn't been for some time. But as a firearms instructor, what is the most regrettable thing that I have done? And I know the interwebs is going to want to hear something about downrange drills. That's not even on the list. You know what? The most regrettable thing that I have done as a firearms instructor is I have made gun tube content. There are YouTube videos out there where I have did gun reviews and shit like that. And it is a travesty that those things generally exist. And I am I am not proud that I had participated in it. So there, that's it. I know some of you are like, well, but I like watching your shit, and but I didn't know what GunTube would turn into back then, and that it would be so fucking stupid. There are still highlights. There's spots. There's things that are good, but it's so generally bad. Like someone could lump me into it as having participated, and I would not feel good about being lumped in that way. All right, so let's see what these questions are here. I do have some. Have I shot the brass monkey ammo yet? Yes, I have. It went off without a flaw. Put holes in the cardboard, and I liked it well enough that I took the sticker and stuck it in the shop and would gladly use it again. So if you know that fella, you can tell him that it performed peachy for me. Reed asked, and I think somebody else asked up earlier, and I kind of changed it or ignored it. How much intel did we miss because we didn't ask the right questions before class? Not a ton. There was a couple things. I'm trying to, like, I don't have the list in front of me, so I'm trying to think of the couple. I said there was 5 pages. One of them was a map, and it was just a map that had things on it that you guys didn't have on your map, in case Danny needed it to reference places. Mostly, there was a couple of questions, particularly about Marissa, that you didn't ask as your point of contact with the resistance. That was the big one. Otherwise, I can't think of much off the top of my head. Has the serpentine of safety ever been done under nods before? I can't answer that, as I've never run the serpentine of safety as a drill. I have nothing against the drill, obviously, but I didn't come up with it, and I feel like some drills, I'm like, this particular drill is that guy's thing, and I'm gonna send my people to that guy if they want to do that drill. Kind of like that one drill we don't talk about from that other place that I used to work. I would never do that myself, so that people would go there to get it. And so I've never done the serpentine of safety. So I'm going to guess maybe not, just because Jay doesn't have nods, doesn't run any nods classes. So the number of times that he probably has a class full of dudes with nods has been limited. So, man, all my notes here kind of revolve around what's the best thing that you have done? So, that's a really good question, and nobody ever asks that. But I will gladly answer it. I have taught a bunch of people a bunch of skills that currently 7 of them have used those skills in a life and death encounter and have come out on top. So for the 10 years of full-time and 16 years, or the extra 6 years of part-time instructing that I've done, I am at 7-0 for students in gunfights, civilian students in gunfights, and that is the best thing that I have done. I have helped 7 people win their gunfights. I also have had a fair amount of military students win gunfights, and they don't necessarily like reach out and give me numbers afterwards. So those are a little more difficult to tell. And I know of at least 2 police officers that were students of mine that got in gunfights and won them. And not just, I shot the moving car. I got to be careful how much more I say because that person might be reading the comments. But actually, where there was a chance of bullets coming the other way, and as well. Marcus and Reed need planks. At first, I read that as pants, like you need pants, and then I was curious why you two were likely together without pants. Josh Hill, thank you. It is something that's pretty. Like I can hang my hat on that every day of the week and feel pretty good about it. So I might save that for an Instagram post tomorrow. Oh, that was an Instagram post today. So I assumed that I was going to get a lot of flack over Jay's videos. I haven't really at all. But so I was going to live stream my criteria for answering. And so if it was the amount of comments he was getting, I wouldn't bother with most of it because it's too much for one person to handle. But I thought, well, if some of that comes over my way, I will maybe potentially, Jesus, answer some of those comments. Most likely I wouldn't, but if I was going to, I would see who posted them, and I would go do a little internet stalking. Like who is this guy that said this thing? And I had decided some time ago, probably 36 months ago, or maybe a little longer, that whenever you go stalk somebody, I prefer Instagram for this reason. Twitter, it's usually a bunch of text posts, and you got to read like all their thoughts on society and philosophy and whatever. Facebook is usually a mixed match of stupid. This is my kid's birthday, and like I don't learn anything about you from you putting up pictures of your kid's birthday party. But Instagram, since it's mostly videos or photos, and people love gear, there are gear photos. And so I will scroll through them because that kind of tells you what kind of fella you're talking to with what he shows for his gear. And I decided that I better find some pictures with rifles, pistols, that kind of shit for sure. And what's not on the list? Night vision. Was it cool if you got night vision? Should you take pictures of it and show it off? Sure, why not? It's fucking cool. It's like having a sports car. Of course, you're going to show pictures of it. But you know what? If you don't have a sports car or night vision, it's fine. There was a whole bunch. I own night vision less years than I didn't own night vision because fucking shit's expensive. So, they don't have to have night vision. But you know what they better fucking have in some of them photos? I better be able to find a photo that shows what fucking radio they use and what compass they use. And if they ain't got any pictures with a radio and a compass and I start scrolling through, fuck them. They're just faggots. And I ain't interested in anything they got to fucking say. Just as much as if they had like a fucking CZ or a Tavor. Like, nope. Discard, ignore, don't care. Don't do the LGBTFQ plus fucking trans flag fucking bullshit either. So off they go. So for those of you out there that are like my regulars and you're putting all your cool guy photos up, at some point you better drop your fucking compass and radio in there. And if it's a Baofeng and a fucking Springfield XD, you're just as fucking gay as the guys that don't own a radio or a compass. IWI. They're actually all IWI products are banned from my classes. Just saying. Compass shame. I guess I need to post a pic of your kit. You can steal. I put one up right today on Instagram because I knew I was going to mention this tonight. So I made sure that I had a recent one that had a compass and a radio in it. I have at least 1,000 photos on Instagram. There are some with radios and compasses in it, and no Baofengs. Basically, I need to see a Sunto MC2. That's the Glock 19 of compasses. Kind of like a Yaesu VX6R. Might not be as prolific as a Glock 19, but it is the Glock 19. Fucking Javier doesn't own a radio and his compass is from Walmart. Man. Javier, we got to fix that. Fucking call me tomorrow and I'll walk you through where to get what you need. At least on the compass end, and talk to Mike and buy a radio from him. All right, well, you should still buy the fucking radio, man. I know you got no one to talk to because your team's gay. But at some point, you're going to drive your ass over here, and we're going to be like, hey, man, fire up your radio. Here is the frequency we're using. And you're going to be like, this is awesome. I can talk to all my cool friends from Pennsylvania. That's what we will do for you. Let's see. Here's the compass notes. Oh, this is something else I was going to. Yes. Oh, Mike points out that he knows how many guns Javier has, and he doesn't own a fucking radio. Yeah, John can steer you right on radios. Land nav kit that I put together. That's true. I do have a land nav kit that you can buy right from me. That kit. That's the kit you're taking a picture of. Nice, Adam. Steven has a radio pick on IG. All right. He only has 2 picks of gear. Bro, if you only got 2 pictures of gear, it's okay if there isn't a compass in one of them. But before you put a third one on there, throw your compass in with the photo. Just saying. It doesn't have to be front and center. Just drop it in the corner. Make a fella proud. All right. Oh, I don't know what I hit. I'm fucking tabs. How do you get tabs on a fucking Google document? Fat fingered it. Sorry, guys. I get back to where I was got my notes were at. So the other thing, before I have dialogue with a bunch of gun guys about what drills they think are acceptable and not acceptable, again, thought I was going to be fielding more of those this week, was if they want to have a discussion with me about something to do with training, I am going to go, before I have a serious discussion, I know Andrew has said a couple of people have asked if they would, hey man, you want to debate your stance on, fill in the blank. And no, but if we do, I want to do a little research and see who it is I'm talking to, because I'm not just going to fucking waste my time, from talking to shitheads that can't possibly have a fucking thing to say that I care about. So I'm going to go look at the things that they have posted before. I want to see where they stand on things outside of, well, this drill is dangerous. I want to see what they talk about going on in current life. Like if they talk about Israel purchasing a congressional seat in Kentucky, I'll be like, oh, all right. So he might be tuned into things that are important. But the easy way to do it is I'm just going to scroll back to what they posted in 2020 during COVID. I should be able to find all kinds of fucking posts from freedom-loving fucking gun dorks about all the things they did to give the middle finger to everybody telling them they needed to lock down, mask up, jab this, jab that, inoculate for fucking whatever. And if they don't have any of those, I'm going to assume that they either were pro lockdown, pro mask, pro-vax, pro-crash the economy, all that, or they were afraid that people would think they weren't pro all those things and cowered in the corner and didn't post shit about it. So if you can come out and say, pro-electors training does a drill that I don't like, but you didn't say fuck all about Anthony Fauci, dude, become one of the 22 a day. Like, I'm not going to lie, you don't serve a purpose. So those are things I'm going to go look at before we get a lot of dialogue going on with any of these gun dweebs. But apparently, they're not even doing their gun dweeb job shit very well. I'll save that. That's going to be an Instagram post tomorrow, but I will sign off with that later today. Shall not bend the knee. Oh, good sir, I am sure that you are not going to. Okay, I shouldn't say I'm sure. We've had limited interactions, but they've been stellar. So I count you as one of my peoples, or vice versa, however you want to look at that. So interestingly enough, speaking of Mark here, who earlier said that they have a flock camera around and it belongs to the state. It's interesting. I had this discussion over the weekend. We had a class, and I got to have a bunch of conversations with the student population and a couple other awesome instructors. And one of the things that we were talking about, it was dark, so I don't remember who all I was talking to. But I said, if you and your friends aren't sharing all the locations of the flock cameras in your town and also planning or rehearsing ambushes, your friends are retarded and gay. So just pointing out that if you haven't discussed these things with your friends as of right now, when this live chat is over, or even while it's going on, get your phone out and start sharing locations of cameras with your homies in case you ever need to do hood rat shit, like rehearsing ambushes. So every county around Mark has one. Some of us, because we work in healthcare, had no choice. Don't tell me that you had a choice. Everybody's got a choice. Now, the choice might be a hard choice, but it's a choice. All right. So that was my other notes. What do you guys want to talk about out there in the world of the interwebs? Nothing? Anything? Oh, I don't want to mention. So there is a new Trempendix holster, if you carry appendix, like everyone should. And you got on board with the program, you could upgrade to the newest appendix holster. So I have back here, there was the Trempendix Alpha, which has kind of fallen out of use since the Omega came out. And I got some blue guns here, but I'll just show the holster. So this is the Omega. It has the where is it here? 12 degrees of rotation on the clip, and it's got a tie off point, and it's got this big bump out washer that helps rotate the pistol, and it's got the dog nose on the back, and it's got this rounded negative cut so that when your leg sits against it, it doesn't cut in there, and it's got a little widened top, bucket top, and everyone seems to like that uses it. In fact, a lot of folks that don't even like appendix made the switch because of the holster. Now, this one happens to be for a macro. But recently, there's a new one and it's the Trempendix Prime. This one here is for a Shield X. So it still has the 12 degrees, 12 degrees of rotation. It still has the dog nose. It still has the rounded negative cut for your leg. It's still got a tie-off point, although it's a different shaped one. But instead of having that big plastic thing out here where your hand normally would get in the way of, we have this raised piece of Kydex that acts like a wing, but it doesn't get in the way of your hand. And no matter how high you set the adjustable clip and its rotation, it can't rotate below your belt. So this little fella right here is the new hotness. And I've been wearing this now for weeks, and it is awesome. In fact, it's awesome enough that it's the Trempendix Prime. The Alpha is being retired as soon as we run out of this hardware we use for it. And I suspect that at some point in the future, the Omega will be like the Alpha is now, and no one ever buys it. It is that. Do you have a G19 prototype I could check out at Dynamic Pistol in the market for another? Let's see. I gave away the 365 XL prototype because I don't have a 365 XL here. The only one in the house is my wife's, and she doesn't carry appendix. But I do believe the Glock 19 one and the Glock 48 one are sitting on the. There's two prototypes sitting on my dining room table. I think pretty sure. So yes, there will be. There'll be one there that you can try out. And if not, I can probably make sure there is one there by that time. So yeah, the Trempendix Prime. I should have a link handy, but I don't. I guess I could go fetch one up over on the First Wave website. There it is. Come over here and paste. Available for the macro, the 365 XL, the Shield X, the Shield Plus, the 4 1/4 inch M&P, the Glock 48, and the Glock 19. Nope, probably not going to do them for anything else. Because those are the only guns on the Tremis Dynamics recommended list. There's an approved list and a recommended list. Those are the recommended list. So that's what we got to show off for the new gear stuff. Oh, we've reached 100 messages on chat. Woohoo! And none of them were the people coming over to bitch about downrange drills. Losers. Losers. Javier says he thinks the metal mag and the 43X makes the 19 obsolete. Well, technically, that magazine would make the 26 obsolete because it is not 19 sized. The 48 is 19 sized. But I get where you're going with it. I do like the PSA mags better than the Glock mags. The Glock mag I like it better than the Shield Arms mags, which I don't consider to be viable. I don't know what generation they are on, but I'm not a fan. But I would use either the Glock branded ones that are longer than the PSA or the PSA ones. And I've been saying that for a long time now. I don't own a Glock 48. I do have a micro dagger down in my office, and I should shoot it more. I put big dots on it, but you can't put an Apex trigger in it because the Glock 48 has a Gen 5 trigger block. And in order for a PSA to make the Glock or the micro dagger, the Glock, that trigger block is still patented, but the Gen 3 one is not. So it's got a Gen 3 trigger block in it. So you got to go buy a trigger block from like Glock store for 48 and then drop it in the micro dagger, and then you could put an apex trigger in it, and all that's a lot of money for a gun that I don't shoot. Magpul 365 mags, Dustin asks about. I have used some of the macro mags in a macro. I know they also do the 12 and 10 rounders, but I have not tried those, and I have not tried the macro mags in a smaller 365, which I know that's doable. But they have been absolutely flawless, and they have two big benefits. One, they're actually real stainless steel and will not rust, unlike the SIG mags. And they cost like they're magazine priced, unlike SIG's mags, which are like priced as much as a Kel-Tec pistol. So there is that. I actually had someone tell me that rather than buy a SIG and 10 magazines, they would just buy 15 Kel-Tecs, load each one up, and throw it away when they were done. And they'd still save money. I thought it was funny. All right. So with that, I'm getting ready. I'm circling a drain here because I still have shit to put away from Wolverine Warfare now that it's all dry and things have been washed. So I have a parting thought for you all. And if you missed this and you want to hear it again, it's going to be on my Instagram tomorrow morning sometime. I want you to remember there are only two types of men in this world: those that paint their rifle and those that paint their nails. Take it easy.